a person truly decides to change, I don't mean surface-level change. I mean real change. The kind that rewires you from the inside. Do you know what the first thing you lose is? Most people think they re-losing time, or friends, or opportunities. No, the first thing you lose is not motivation. That childlike excitement, the one that gets thrilled by everything, the one that opens its sails to every wind. That part of you was already exhausted long ago. And it's not motivation either. You've already learned the hard way that motivation is temporary. That discipline is what actually carries you forward. The first real thing you lose is innocence. You stop believing in the world the way you used to. Something lifts from your eyes. You start seeing the emptiness behind people's words, the fatigue under their smiles. Losing innocence means realizing that the world is in descaliful, or as simply as you once thought. You can't fully trust someone saying, "Don't worry, we'll figure it out." You instantly calculate the uncertainty in that sentence, the chance it won't happen, because experience has replaced innocence, and experience is heavy. When people say, "I'll start on Monday," or "this time it'll be different," you don't mock them. You smile quietly, not out of arrogance, out of recognition. Because you remember how many times you said those same words, how many promises you broke to yourself, how many times you lost to your own excuses. That doesn't make you cruel. It doesn't make you heartless. It makes you awake, and being awake has a cost. You don't get happy as a silly anymore. Amobi, ise krim, small talk. Things that once felt enough no longer satisfy a conscious mind. Empty words, cliché, motivation quotes. Fairy tale is like everything will be okay. They don't feed your soul anymore. And this is where people start misunderstanding you. They judge you. They say you've become too serious, that you've changed, that you forgot how to enjoy life. They're wrong. You didn't stop enjoying life. You stopped enjoying what's fake. There's a massive difference. You realize most people aren't actually having fun. They're escaping from their own thoughts, from silence at home, from failure, from who they really are. That's why they love noise. That's why music is always loud. That's why they disappear into crowds and meaningless conversations. Because if the noise stops, they'll hear themselves. And silence speaks loudly. In silence, you hear who you are. And not everyone is brave enough for that. Facing your regrets, your darkness, your what-ifs. That's the real battlefield. A changed person learns silence, not to drown in it, but to draw strength from it. They learn to be alone without complaining about loneliness, being able to sit in a room with no distractions, just your breath and your thoughts, without running away. That's a high level most people never reach. Do you know why so few people get here? Because excuses stop working. You can't blame the world anymore. You can't hide behind luck. You can't lie to yourself about circumstances. At the end of the day, when the lights are off and your head hits the pillow, only one question remains. What did I do today? That question cuts deep. It builds you and it breaks you. Most people stay busy just to avoid it. Endless scrolling, constant noise, anything to avoid being alone. But real change begins exactly there, when no one is watching. when no one is clapping. The decisions you make in silence shape who you become. Walking away from a habit, a mistake, a weakness. Without witnesses, that's real victory. And here's the most painful irony. When you truly change, almost no one notices. You look the same. You walk the same streets until results start speaking. Then, suddenly, people appear. You are lucky, they say. You were in the right place, they say. They create excuses. They didn't see your nights. They didn't see the comfort you sacrificed. They didn't hear the moments you whispered to yourself, I can do this. And they don't need to. T's Pathisen. T walked for applause. It isn't walked for likes. It's walked to reclaim your self-respect, to look in the mirror and not look away. And one day, you wake up and realize something else. You don't feel the need to explain yourself anymore. Your plans, your your progress. Some things lose power when spoken. Dreams shrink when explained too early, but when lived quietly, they grow. And there, in that silence, you've truly changed. Not because you announced it, not because you proved it, but because you became it. And now, you know, the strongest sound is action. The biggest transformations happen quietly.